Pay close attention to the security footage, because everything that follows hinges on what happens in just 26 seconds. April 2nd, 2023, Brookhaven, Missouri. A fixed residential camera mounted above a detached garage records motion at 7:18 p.m. The footage shows a narrow concrete driveway, still wet from a light spring rain. A silver sedan is parked crooked, engine off. A man in his late 70s, white, thinning gray hair, sits in a motorized wheelchair near the garage door. He's wrapped in a tan blanket, hands resting on his lap. A woman enters frame from the side gate. She's 34, wearing pale green medical scrubs, hair tied back loosely, carrying a canvas tote. She stops when she sees him, smiles, walks over, kneels so they're eye level. They talk, but the audio isn't recorded. She reaches out, brushes rain from his sleeve, then leans in and kisses him on the cheek. He laughs, lifts his hand, cups her face. It's not hurried, it's not hidden, it's tender. After a few seconds, she stands, moves behind the wheelchair, and guides him toward the garage. At 7:18 and 26 seconds, they exit the frame. This is the last confirmed video of Hannah Cole alive. 10 days later, on April 12th at 5:41 a.m., an anonymous call is placed to the Brookhaven Police Department. The caller is male, calm, no accent. He gives a single sentence. There's a body in the old grain depot off Route 9, storage room C. Then the line disconnects. Officers arrive within 14 minutes. The depot has been abandoned for nearly 5 years. No electricity, no cameras. The padlock on storage room C is cut. Inside, they find Hannah Cole. Her wrists are bound behind her back with plastic restraints. There are deep ligature marks around her neck. She's still wearing the same green scrubs seen in the security footage. The medical examiner estimates she's been dead for approximately 10 days. Meaning she was killed the same night she vanished, while search teams were still organizing, while her family was still posting flyers, while her phone kept ringing unanswered. Most people assume this is a random abduction, a wrong place, wrong time situation. That assumption is wrong. This case isn't about opportunity, it's about money. Specifically, $3.1 million, a rewritten trust, and a family that decided eliminating one person was easier than losing what they believed was theirs. To understand how it reached this point, you have to go back nearly 3 years earlier. August 19, 2020. Leonard Whitaker, 76 years old, is struck by an SUV while crossing a residential street. The driver is texting. Leonard survives, but his spinal cord injury leaves him permanently paralyzed from the chest down. He spends 4 months in rehabilitation before being discharged to his home. His wife died years earlier. His family consists of 3 people: his daughter, Melissa Whitaker, 52, his son, Daniel Whitaker, 49, and his nephew, Kyle Whitaker, 31, who Leonard helped raise after Kyle's parents died. In the weeks following the accident, they visit regularly. In the months after, the visits slow. By the end of the first year, Leonard spends most days alone, attended only by rotating aides. Phone records later show that between January and December of 2021, Daniel visits his father twice, Melissa visits once, Kyle not at all. In October of 2021, Leonard begins keeping a notebook. Investigators find it after his death. One entry stands out. I survived the accident, but not the aftermath. I became expensive. I became inconvenient. I became invisible. On November 3, 2021, Leonard hires a home care aide through a regional agency. Hannah Cole is assigned to him. She's 32, raised in Kansas City, eldest of 4 siblings. She attended nursing school for 2 years before dropping out to care for her father, who died of congestive heart failure. She never returned to school, but built a reputation as an exceptional caregiver, compassionate, reliable, overqualified for her role. Leonard is withdrawn when she arrives, barely speaks. Hannah doesn't push. She asks him one question. What did you love doing before the accident? He tells her he restored old radios, spent weekends repairing them in his garage. 2 days later, Hannah brings one from a thrift store, broken. She places it on the workbench, adjusts everything so he can reach from his wheelchair, and asks him to show her how it works. That afternoon, Leonard laughs for the first time in over a year. Over the next 18 months, Hannah becomes more than an aide. She brings books he used to read, takes him outside daily, rain or shine, plays his favorite blues records during physical therapy. She talks to him like a man, not a patient. Leonard starts eating again, smiling again, wanting to be alive again. Somewhere in that time, feelings begin forming that neither of them acknowledge out loud. He's 78, she's 34. It feels impossible, inappropriate, but it's there. By early 2023, the routine is fixed. Hannah arrives at 8 a.m., leaves around 7 p.m. They eat together, watch old movies, talk about everything from politics to grief. Leonard notices the way she looks at him when she thinks he isn't paying attention. Hannah notices the way his face lights up when she walks in. On February 10, 2023, Leonard tells her the truth, that he loves her, that he knows it's unfair, that he expects nothing. Hannah goes quiet, leaves early. Leonard assumes he's ruined everything. The next morning, Hannah shows up at 7:30. She walks straight to his wheelchair, kneels, and says, "I don't see you the way everyone else does. I see you." That's when they become a couple, quietly, carefully. They don't tell anyone. They know how it would look. They know his family would never accept it. On March 14, 2023, Leonard Whitaker shows up unannounced, first visit in nearly a year. He walks into the living room and sees his father and Hannah sitting close, hands intertwined, not caregiver and patient, partners. Daniel explodes, accuses Hannah of manipulation, of abuse, of taking advantage of a vulnerable man. Leonard responds with a level of anger his son has never seen. He tells Daniel where he's been, how alone he's been, how Hannah was the only person who showed up. Daniel storms out. That night, Daniel calls Melissa. The next day, the three Whitakers meet at Daniel's house. Panic sets in when Daniel admits he's behind on debt. He was counting on his inheritance. Melissa admits the same. Kyle, quieter, listens. They hire an attorney, try to challenge Leonard's mental competency. Doctors review his records. He's deemed fully lucid. No case. Then, Leonard makes a decision. On March 22, 2023, Leonard meets privately with his estate attorney. He revises his trust. Daniel and Melissa's shares are reduced dramatically. Kyle's is reduced slightly. Hannah Cole is named primary beneficiary. She will receive Leonard's home, all remaining assets, totaling approximately $3.1 million. There is a clause added. If any family member is found to have harmed, threatened, or conspired against Hannah Cole, their inheritance is void and redirected to charity. Leonard signs, witnessed, legal, final. What Leonard doesn't know is that his attorney's paralegal is Melissa's former roommate. On March 25th, Melissa learns everything. That evening, the Whitakers meet again. This time, the tone is different, not panic, calculation. Kyle breaks the silence. If she's not around when he dies, the trust doesn't apply. No one responds. Daniel says it next. We don't have to kill him, just remove the problem. On March 27th, Kyle contacts an old acquaintance from his construction days. That man introduces him to another, men who handle things.
Price is negotiated, $40,000, half up front, half after. From March 29th to April 2nd, Hannah is watched, her schedule, her car, where she parks, when she leaves. April 2nd is chosen. Leonard has a doctor's appointment the next day. Hannah plans to take the afternoon off afterward. At 7:18 p.m., the security camera captures the kiss. At 7:41 p.m., Hannah leaves the house. At 7:59 p.m., she stops at a pharmacy. At 7:56 p.m., a dark SUV pulls in behind her. At 8:01 p.m., she is forced into the vehicle. At 8:59 p.m., she is dead. 10 days later, she is found. The rest is evidence: phone records, bank withdrawals, surveillance footage, confessions. Kyle breaks first. Daniel follows. Melissa denies until the end. They are all convicted. Leonard Whitaker dies 3 weeks after sentencing. Heart failure. Hospice records note he stopped speaking after the verdict. His final words to the nurse are recorded. "They killed the only person who loved me when I had nothing left to give." The trust activates. All family inheritance is void. Every dollar goes to charity. The men who carried out the murder receive life sentences, but the most chilling detail comes from interrogation transcripts. When asked how often families hire him to remove caregivers, one of the killers shrugs and says, "More than you'd think. People protect money better than people." That line never makes it to trial. Case closed, but the question remains: how many others are never?